Hi everyone, you know what today is, 9/11. I want to talk about that a little bit, and I have a proposition. Please make a video response. I just woke up, so I'm a little bit tired, but please make a video response on what your day was like on September 11th, 2001, leading up to when you found out about the attacks, and afterwards, and years after. How has it affected you? I want to talk to you about my day. I was so excited that day because I was finally going to get to go to kindergarten because the teachers had been on strike and we were supposed to start I think a few days before. But the teachers went on strike and I was disappointed, of course. And then finally they said we could go to school, and it was September 11th. And I was so excited because I get to ride the bus with the big kids. So I got on the bus, I went to school, and we had to do an activity. And I have that activity right here because it's been kept. But we had to do an activity for that said, on the first day of school I feel blank. And I told my teacher happy, so she wrote down happy. And this was before anyone knew about the attacks or anything. So I just want to show you that. Just look at the date. And it is sad. I didn't know what was going on because they're not going to tell kids anything, basically, because they don't want to alarm kids. I also have the newspaper from that day. Well, it's the day after, of course, but you know what I mean. Here it is. It was attacked. President Bush, freedom will be defended. And it just blows my mind every time you hear about this. Because there's not a person living today unless you're really a baby. Unless you're a baby. But there's not a person living today. When you say September 11th, that's not like, oh my god. And then when you ask people, what were you doing on that day, people can tell you. A lot of people can tell you, but if you ask them, what'd you do 3 weeks ago, people are at a loss. They're like, I don't know what I did 3 weeks ago. But since this is a significant day, people know what they were doing. And I told you what I was doing. And then start kindergarten. And it's all blur after that. I mean, planes were going over the house afterwards, like a while afterwards. But I always felt like, what if one crashed into the house? I was always scared about that. But I was just a kid. But even a few years after, I did fly. And imagine what it must have been like for people on planes, not the hijacked planes, but just other planes that found out that they were hijacked planes, and they're on a plane, and they're like, oh my god. Because there is an article in this about a Red Sox beat writer for the Red Sox, and he talks about how he was on a plane, and he got a call and found out that there were hijacked planes, and the pilot actually said that plane was safe. And everyone was just so scared that once they landed that plane and everyone got off, there was a sense of kind of relief that they're on the ground, they're safe. But imagine being on one of those planes with the hijackers. Like, what is going through your mind? Like, I can't imagine, and I can't speculate, but I can kind of imagine that it was scary. We all know that. We all know that. There's a great movie to check out if you haven't seen it called United 93, and that just talks about how the brave people on that flight overtook, kind of attacked the hijackers and went after them. So they were supposed to reach the White House, but in this article it says I mean, on Wikipedia it says they were reaching for the U.S. Capitol, but because of those brave people, and I commend them, they didn't reach their target because they lost their lives. I also want to commend the New York Fire Department, those people that went in knowing we're probably not going to live to see tomorrow, but we're going in, we're going to save people. Commend them because that's a brave thing to do. It's a brave thing to do. I also commend the police officers too, who are on the scene, kind of helping people through everything. There are some pictures I've seen of people with like ash on them. Like, there was like ash coming in all directions. You couldn't escape it. It's kind of just crazy. It's crazy. So I want you guys to make a video response and just talk about anything about September 11th, anything you remember from that day, what you were doing that day. And I know asking people this, a lot of people know what they were doing. They know what they were doing. And I know what I was doing because I was in high school. And it was just a normal day, like, I didn't know anything, so it was just a normal day. Except I was starting kindergarten. And then on my way home, I took the little bus home, and I guess things started to change a little bit. And our country was kind of scared. But I think this made our country a little bit stronger. And a bad thing to happen, but made our country a little bit stronger. In the sense that this happened, but yeah. Yeah, it kind of made us realize that we're kind of lucky to be alive. That they tried to shake us, and we fought back, and we're still fighting back, and even killing Osama. We're still fighting back to now. 9 years later, 10 years later, actually. Or 10 years later, still fighting. We're not gonna give up. We're not just gonna say, okay, let's go home. We just can't do that. I commend the people who are fighting for this war. Thank you, and please leave a video response.